Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being early and on time. This is our last day of the seminar promoting self-regulated learning in English language teaching. It has been a long week, but the challenge was there and we succeeded. We'll start our seminar today, reminding you to please keep your mics off so to avoid background noises that will interrupt the presentation. We also want to let you know that a Chinese proverb says that if you are planning for a year, sow rice. If you are planning for a decade, plant trees. If you are planning for a lifetime, educate people. And also, Benjamin Franklin says, tell me and I forget. Teach me and I will remember. Involve me and I will learn. So I want to leave you with those two quotes that will help us to remember that what we are doing today is important to enhance our teaching and learning process of our students. So the English Department Coordinating Committee, with the support of the Extension and Continuing Education Coordination of the College of Humanities and Universidad de Panama, has the honor to make this the last day of our seminar on online modality. So we'll call Professor Marisol Ortega to greet the participants.
Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, Professor Lowe. Wow. Good afternoon. This has been a long week, but I mean, we have learned quite a lot. We have enriched our knowledge, and I think we have improved ourselves as teachers. I don't know what you think, but I think we have. But anyway, well, it is our last day. Enjoy the afternoon. We'll see you later on during this seminar and at the closing ceremony later on. So God bless you all. See you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Professor Marisol. And with no longer delay, would you know our presenter is Professor Daniel Lowe, and he will guide us through the principles for self-regulation and its academic components for the teaching practice and students' engagement. So, Professor Lowe, the room is yours.
Thank you so much, Teacher Veronica and Teacher Marisol. Yeah, it certainly has been a long week. I know that 4 hours in one go is quite a lot, and I really admire all of the teachers who have been connecting this week, because I know that teaching is a very tiring profession, and for you to invest so much time in this program is very, I know, a big sacrifice, but I hope that some of the things that I've shared with you have been of interest, and that you will follow up on your own way on some of these things that you find like most relevant or interesting in your context. So yeah, basically today, what I wanted to look at is, now it said academic, and maybe I should have been a little bit more transparent. Maybe what I'm thinking of now is at a university level, right? So what aspects of self-regulation do university students really need to have to be successful? That's basically the idea. Now, for those of you that don't work at a university level, it doesn't mean that this session is not relevant, because remember that all of us, whether we are pre-K, kinder, or first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or any grade, basically throughout the child's history, we are contributing to their development And so we can in some way reflect about, okay, if these are the skills that a college student, a university student needs, how can I start to develop those aspects in my grade? Okay, some of you may be familiar with the Common Core State Standards. This is a document from the United States, and it's very interesting because what they did was that they defined what a college student, what skills does a university student need, and then they worked backwards from 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, back to kinder on, okay, so how can we develop those? That's called backwards planning, right? So today I'd like you to reflect on what you can do to help to create future university students who will have these skills. And I'd also like you to reflect on your own profile as a learner, because, you know, yesterday we were talking about using metacognition and reflection for our own benefit, not just trying to promote this with our learners, but to actually use it as a tool for our own professional development. So all of us are learners, right? I mean, okay, we're teachers when we're in the classroom, but when we're reading or when we're attending meetings or just conversations with our colleagues or coming to seminars like this, we are learners. So it is also very healthy for us to consider our own profile as learners and maybe ask ourselves if there are certain aspects of ourselves as learners that we could improve and become more effective. So that's basically our objectives today. So module 5, as teacher Veronica said, whoops, I beg your pardon, 1 second. Need to go back to the first page. So module 5, our primary objective is to understand the 6 components of academic or university self-regulation. Okay, so during this seminar, I have been talking about certain books. Okay, I think that like reading is the most important thing both for learners and for teachers. So I always like to share my recommendations of books that I have found particularly useful. And many of the activities that we're going to do today have been taken from this book. And the book is called Motivational and Learning Strategies for College Success, a focus on self-regulated learning. Now, you know, I know that sometimes it can be a little bit tough to find these kinds of books in bookshops in Panama. But like I've been saying, you can get these books on Amazon. The book that I was recommending yesterday, Inside Teaching, is now out of print, but it is available like secondhand. So you can find the book on Amazon. And Amazon basically connects you with a secondhand bookshop that will send you the book online. Sorry, you can make the purchase online and then they send you the book physically. Now this book, there's something I'd like to just mention, which is, I don't know if you guys have ever purchased a Kindle book on Amazon. So Kindle used to be like a device. You had to buy the device and then you would download, you know, books onto your Kindle. But these days, Kindle is now basically an app which you can either install on your mobile phone or on your desktop computer. I have it on both. And you can basically buy books on Amazon. I'm sorry, I keep mentioning Amazon. I don't have any commercial relationship with them, but we all know how big they are. And some books, methodology books, can be quite expensive. For example, this book, if you buy the book in Amazon, it's about $60, which is quite a lot of money. And obviously you'd have to pay for the shipping to bring it to Panama. That might be another 15 or 20. So that's a lot of money. But with Kindle, they also have what they call a rent option. So instead of buying the book, what you're doing is you're renting the book. So for example, if I want to buy this book on Kindle, it costs me maybe $50. But if I want to rent it for a month, it only costs 15. So this is another option for your professional development. Obviously, we have to be budget conscious. So renting books on Kindle is a great way to get access to these books without, breaking your bank. So this book I really recommend, especially for those of you who are dealing with university students. Okay, so according to the authors of this book, there are 6 components of academic self-regulation. Now, many of these aspects are things we've been talking about during the week, but now we're looking at it in the context of university education. So the first one, unsurprisingly, is motivation. And we're going to be thinking about motivation, what it is, and how we can affect it during this session. Then methods of learning, use of time, physical environment, social environment, and monitoring performance. So basically, for a student to be a successful university student, they need to have all of these 6 components well developed. Okay, they need to have high motivation, they need to have a wide variety of methods of learning, they need to have an excellent use of time, they need to be able to understand the impact of their physical environment when they're studying, they need to be able to connect with the right people when they have problems, and they need to be able to monitor their own performance, something that we have been talking about a lot, making students aware of the importance of asking themselves if they understand something. Okay, so let's think about the first one now, motivation. Okay, and motivation is often considered as the internal processes that give behavior its energy and direction. Okay, so energy and direction. And these internal processes can include your goals, beliefs, perceptions, and expectations. So these are big, big aspects of our lives. And so we can use certain techniques which we can use to develop and maintain motivation. Okay, so some people say, no, well, motivation, you either have it or you don't. But that's not true. The research has shown that it is possible to do things which will develop and maintain your motivation. Does anybody have any ideas about things that you can do to increase your motivation? Let's imagine, I don't know, you have to write a thesis, okay? You have to write a long, long thesis. What could you do to give yourself more motivation to do that? Any ideas, guys? Or any kind of task that maybe you think, oh God, this is a bit difficult, but does anybody have certain things they do when they need to increase their motivation to do something?
Okay, I myself, I think it is that I need to fulfill that because that is something that is going to be good for me. So most of the time when I get through those kind of issues, I always try to think that at the end I'm gonna be I'm gonna be happy because I'm gonna be able to reach a goal. But when sometimes, I know that sometimes we feel frustrated about, so what scene that I like is to go to a specific, into certain places so I can relax. And then sometimes when I do that, when I come back, I feel like, oh my God, I feel good now.
Good. So, okay, there are lots of things there. So first of all, you said you imagine yourself when you finish the task and you kind of imagine the satisfaction you're going to feel. Right, teacher Nelda? Teacher?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. And then you also said that you go to a special place. Is that right?
Yes.
Can you give us an example of where you might go?
I like to go to the rivers and sit behind a big tree. So sometimes that's what I do.
Okay, and so
sorry.
Yeah. So is that like a kind of reward?
Yeah.
Right. So if we have to do something that's going to take a long time, or we're going to have, let's imagine like with this diploma, you thought, oh, wow, I have to do 5 sessions of 4 hours. So what teacher Nelda is saying is that you could give yourself a reward at the end of each session, right? So maybe go to a place that you like, or I don't know, go and watch a movie, or do something that is like a reward for achieving the goal, right? Does anybody? Sorry, yes, teacher Nelda.
I said yes. That's what I do.
Okay, great. Does anybody else have any strategies to like enhance their motivation when they have something difficult to do? Teacher Cynthia.
Okay, yes, especially when I have, for example, to prepare a thesis and you are very stressful about that. What I usually do, I recognize that I'm stressful. So what I do, I get in contact with nature. Nature relaxes me a lot. Checking the plant, looking at different colors of the flowers. And when I return, I'm very relaxed and I can sit down and go through the material without any problem. That helped me. In my case, it helped me a lot.
Very good. Thank you, teacher. So relaxation techniques are important for you. Does anybody else have any techniques that they would like to share?
Listen to music.
Ah, okay. During the work or after?
It depends. It depends on my level of stress. If I am really, really stressed out, there are some relaxing music, like the sound of the river, the sound of birds, the sound of any kind of symbols. And that, well, you listen to that and you close your eyes and you just meditate on that. And that stress just go down slowly and you are ready to go. And usually I work with music. I can be reading or writing and I have a very soft music as a background that will help me to like close everything else behind me or around me, and I concentrate on just what I'm doing. So
Right.
music works.
Yeah, very good. How about setting goals? Do you think that that's an important part of maintaining motivation? So let's, like teacher Cynthia was talking about a thesis right now. A thesis is obviously a very big piece of work. So we have a big goal, which is to complete my thesis. But if we can break that down into smaller goals, Okay, so I'm going to complete the introduction by Saturday, and then I'm going to give myself a reward. So we have a goal, which is shorter term, okay? And then I'm going to finish chapter 1 by the following Friday. So we can teach this strategy to our students, right? That when they have a test, they need to plan their study and they need to set themselves goals. So by this time, I'm going to study for this, and by this time, I'm going to study for that. And that way we can feel that we're achieving our goal because we're breaking it up into smaller pieces, right? Teacher Katia.
Yes. Good afternoon. I think also it's important to have like active breaks, like working with deadlines, but also to avoid stressful deadlines, just have also organize a schedule, a working schedule, and try to be realistic too, but we need to have an organized schedule. Otherwise, the deadlines are going to be very stressful for us.
Could you expand on what you mean by active breaks?
Active breaks, well, that depends on you. I use the Pomodoro technique. That, for example, after 20 minutes, you have like a short break, then you can stand up, refresh your mind, take something that you want to drink, something or a bite of something, and then you come back and you continue working, because our mind, our brain needs also to refresh ideas in order to move on, right? Otherwise, it's very tiring, right? So
yeah.
Works for me, but that depends also on your, because there are people that work much better at night. Others
Right.
are more schedule.
Yeah, although sometimes it's strange, isn't it? Because you find, sometimes you find, oh, I'm really tired and I can't really do anything today. And then other times, suddenly you feel inspired, like at 11 o'clock at night. And I don't know about you, but there are times when I have just had to say, okay, I'm going to carry on working because I'm feeling inspired right now. And I need to take advantage of this moment. So maybe I'm going to feel a little bit tired tomorrow because I'm not going to get my, my full 8 hours of sleep, but at least I'm going to achieve a lot of progress with whatever I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why.
Thank you, Teacher Katia. Teacher Nelda, you wanted to add something?
I'm just gonna say that I have problems with that, because when I have a task to do, sometimes, and believe me, I sit down for hours if I have to work. I mean, that's something that I know that it's not good, but I can stay like my 8 hours, 7 hours. My son says like, Mom, you remember that you need to eat. You need to do something. You need to stand up, because if you don't, you're gonna get sick and things like that. And that's not, that happens to me most of the time when for example, I have to work in a thesis or something like that. That I was doing that like a couple of weeks ago. I stay sitting. I was sitting for hours because I was. That's something that I have to have. I have in mind that I need to accomplish that. If I don't accomplish that, I'm gonna feel sorry about it. I get frustrated because I can't finish. So, and I stay sitting for hours.
Mm. So I think I agree with your son.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think maybe what you should try to do is like a little experiment. Like, next time, sometimes we do have to sit down and we have to work for a long period of time, and there's no way of avoiding that. But I think it's still a good practice to build in breaks, like Teacher Katia was saying, active breaks, not just, okay, I'm gonna have like a 5-minute nap, but actually to maybe walk around or have a change of environment. So you go outside, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I think it gives your brain a rest, and you get a little bit of like blood, pumping around your body again. And that probably makes you feel more alert. So I liked the idea that Katia shared of active breaks. I think that's a very good practice. So Teacher Nelda, why don't you do that next time you have to do a lot of work like this? Every 45 minutes, have a 10-minute break and go outside, or just, have a change of environment. What do you think?
Yeah, that's true. Also, what it says, Professor, I see it was Cynthia Small. That's why I sometimes get in contact with nature, because nature relaxes you a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's so true. So
As like my father, he have a farm, and when I go to that small town where I grew up, I mean, I feel free. I feel like that's the best things in life. I mean, I feel like a beer.
Yeah. So that's one of the advantages of living in the countryside, that it's so much easier to reconnect, right, with nature. Whereas here in the city, well, we have some parks, and maybe you can walk near the Cinta Costera, get like feeling of being near the ocean. That can be relaxing as well. But yeah, it's the definite advantage of living in the countryside is that I think it's easier to relax like that. Okay, so sorry.
Professor Daniel, also what you said about reward. Yes, I try to do myself because it encourages me to continue to move on. Because sometimes it's tiring, or you feel, as you said, dismotivated.
Yep.
So with a reward, that could be something that you enjoy doing, or eat, if you can allow yourself for that.
A bit of chocolate maybe. Yeah. Have to be careful not to have too many rewards, otherwise we put on too much weight. But yeah, I was going to say a lot of people, including myself, I have to admit, use social media as a reward, right? So they say, okay, I'm going to work for 45 minutes and then I'm going to look at Instagram, or I'm going to look at Facebook, or I'm going to check my WhatsApp. And I don't know about you, but I find that a little bit risky. I mean, some of you maybe don't have this problem, so fair enough, but a lot of people find social media very difficult to control. You think you're just going to look at it for 5 minutes, and then before you know it, it's like, oh my God, half an hour has passed. So I think be very, very careful about using social media as a reward, because it's easy to get lost and waste time. Okay, and remember that one of the other characteristics of a successful academic learner at university is their use of time. So you have to be quite disciplined, and with social media, it's easy to lose that discipline. Does anybody have any comments about social media in that respect?
Yes, me, Professor.
Go ahead, teacher Osiris.
Social media, about 2 years ago, it wasn't that important in my life. To me, it was kind of like, people that doesn't have anything to do, or, people that want to waste their time, they used to watch those. But I learned a lot with, for example, Pinterest.
Right.
In about 4 years ago, I started using Pinterest, and I had learned how to sew clothes, like Panamanian polleras. I learned about Pinterest. Also to do the, the tembleques and many more things. But then talking about motivation, and probably in my case is more first anxiety, and then the motivation will come. And I work with that when I feel that anxiety very powerful in my life sometimes. My 10 years daughter, she downloaded for me TikTok. So to me, that is a way to get away some of that anxiety or stress, and then the motivation will come. And it's like you just mentioned, sometimes I feel like, oh, okay, I'm gonna watch just only for 10 minutes, to see those funny videos. And when I just realized it passed away already 2 hours, and I say, oh my God, I was watching that videos. But yes, you have the thing in here with this social media or social networks is that we really have to make sure to see what we're watching. Okay. What we are going to be watching.
But that's the problem in a way, teacher, because the algorithms of social media are designed so that everything that they show you is something that they think is going to interest you based on your previous behavior. So if you're scrolling on Instagram, you're going to see pictures of things that you have been looking at or searched for. The same with Pinterest. I mean, I know what it is. I don't use it personally, but I know lots of people who find it very addictive as well, because as soon as Pinterest knows that you like pollera, then they're going to be bombarding you with pictures of these things. Yeah. So
like that.
I just think that it's interesting that you said that you use anxiety as a way to kind of motivate you. I mean, and then you use the social media to relax you. So yeah, okay. I mean, everybody has a different approach, but possibly if you could avoid the anxiety by trying to maybe plan a little bit further ahead. So before the anxiety kicks in, you would already have advanced. I know it's easier said than done, but I think generally speaking, according to the research, successful learners usually avoid negative emotions. Okay. So I sometimes suffer from procrastination, which is when we know we need to do something, but for whatever reason, we postpone the beginning, the starting until almost it's the last moment, and then suddenly we do it. And some people say, yeah, well, I work better under pressure. Maybe there's an element of truth, but I think that we should all try to avoid those negative experiences and emotions by using time management more effectively. Okay, so using our time is the most precious thing we have. Yeah, there's a saying in Spanish, right? Hay más tiempo que vida. Which is quite profound. Teacher Erica, you wanted to say something?
Actually, I'm surprised about that because, it will be difficult to tell our students that social media can make them be motivated because, our university students are too involved with social media that is, you have to do something for them to be a part of that social media while they are learning. And it's a little bit difficult for that. It is for us that we are not so accustomed to that, right? I don't have Twitter. I just started using Instagram just a while ago, and for them it is very common to do that, but then to take them out of that, or it's difficult. Then me telling them that social media can be a reward, maybe they are always giving rewards to themselves.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's what happened, for example, parents with kids, that they tell, okay, if you do whatever they need to do, then you can have 1 hour of video games. Or
yeah, right. No, but teacher, I wasn't really suggesting that we should use social media as a reward. I was kind of saying, really be careful about that, because it's easy to, because we were talking how 10 or 15-minute break is a good thing, because it allows your brain to reset and refresh. But what I was saying is that with social media, it's very dangerous, because it's very easy for those 10 or 15 minutes to become an hour, So I would personally recommend not using social media as a reward. I would say the reward should be something more like a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, going outside, maybe having a conversation with somebody, so thinking about things that you can do for a short period of time that do not have the risk of becoming more. Okay, so my recommendation would be to say not to use social media for that. Okay, maybe when you finish, yes, that could be your reward. Okay, I can use Facebook when I finish my session of work, but not for your breaks, right? Did anybody else want to make any comments before I move on?
Okay, now that you're speaking about that, I am very busy in the morning. I mean, all this week, I was very busy in the morning, and then I was busy in the afternoon too. And I was busy at night too. I mean, part of the night.
You were busy all day.
Yeah, almost the whole day. Okay, until 9 o'clock that I feel free. That's the time that I just feel free. So I took my cell phone, and it's like 2 months that I have been reading I have been reading, it was a novel. It's called Surprise Wise with Twins. So what happened is that with this application, every day they give you 5 chapters. So for example, if I read the 5 chapters today, I need to wait until the next day, until tomorrow, so they can open the other chapters. So that is something like, it's like a reward for me, because when I finish and do everything, I can sit down and read those 5 chapters.
Okay, well, I think reading is a far more noble pursuit than Facebook. So I think that you should continue with your strategy. Okay, so thank you guys for your comments, and let me just go over a couple of techniques that the authors of this book suggest. As we have been discussing, goal setting is very important. So not just your big goal, but breaking your goal into smaller goals, okay? And self-talk. Now, nobody actually mentioned this, but this is a really powerful tool. And there's been lots of research that has demonstrated that this is really an effective thing. It's not some kind of, new age hippie thing. It really does have an effect. So in other words, I mean, there's 2 ways of self-talk. One is talking to yourself inside your mind, and the other one is actually speaking out loud. And so they did some research where they would put one group of people and they would tell them, to say things like, you can do it, this task is like something you can definitely do. Maybe it's going to be tough, but, you can do it. Those kind of positive comments. And then they had other people who were saying, oh, no, this is too difficult. I can't do this. There's just no way I have the ability to complete this. And what they discovered was that people who, gave the positive self-talk had much more success than the people who gave the negative self-talk. So in other words, we can actually make ourselves more effective and more, we can get better results if we actually give ourselves positive self-talk. I mean, it's very common when you watch like athletes, you often see them before a race, they are speaking to themselves. Okay, so that we're going to, you know, get my personal best. Yeah, let's do it. Or boxers, you know, they will be having like a conversation with the trainer and talking about, you know, success. You can do this, keep it up. Does anybody do that, like, you know, with their work or their studies? No one?
Well, what I actually do is that I used to, well, I quote Bible verses. It's like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. God is with me. He'll never leave me nor forsake me. Etc., etc., etc. All of the verses that I can quote, I start quoting them, and they help me to achieve my whatever I'm doing. Especially the one that I say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Whenever I find that something is difficult, I have the mind of Christ and the wisdom of God, and I continue. So
Thank you,
that's what I
teacher.
do.
So you use your faith, but
Yes,
can I ask, do you say that silently in your head, or do you say it out loud?
I say it out loud because I like to hear myself saying it, because it helps me. It helps me a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. And that's, I think, what a lot of people find surprising. A lot of people maybe have like, oh, come on, you can do this, do it, you know, come on. But they don't actually say it. They just think it. And I think, well, according to the research, if you say it out loud, it does have a positive impact. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's just that there is a Bible verse that says that we should speak the word. So that's what I do. I speak it. I say it, because I mean,
yeah.
that helps.
Because you're moving your mouth and you're hearing your own voice, somehow the message has more impact than just thinking it, right?
Yeah, and the secret has been there for centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries.
Yeah.
So we should use it. Yes.
Okay, teachers. So next time you have a difficult project or difficult task, start speaking out loud positive messages to yourself and see whether that has a good impact on your task. Okay. So we have goal setting and self-talk. And we have rewards and punishments. So we talked about rewards. We didn't talk about punishments. Now, maybe people prefer to focus on rewards, but you could, some people get more motivation from thinking they want to avoid something bad happening rather than something good happening. So let's imagine you want to watch an episode, or using Inelda's thing about, you know, the reading. She may think, okay, well, you can't read that book if you don't finish this chapter of the thesis. Okay, so it's kind of changing the way you look at it. Rather than saying, okay, you can read when you finish, you're saying, well, you won't be able to read if you don't finish. So I don't know, maybe some people think that's a negative way of thinking about things, but it all depends on you as an individual. Some people are more motivated by rewards and others are more motivated by punishments. So again, maybe, you know, experiment and see which one. And with your students, you could also, you know, ask them to try it out, okay, and give them a homework and tell them to define a reward, give them a homework, tell them to define a punishment, and then ask them to reflect on which experience they found most, you know, most helpful. Okay, and then the third one, and a lot of you talked about this, is relaxation techniques. Okay, so the importance of breaks. You could say a break is a kind of reward. Yes, it is. But, you know, for some people, a reward may be a piece of chocolate and then they just continue. But it is important to take a break and relax. Our brains are not intended to be used continuously for 5 hours. They become less efficient, right? So we need to constantly be taking breaks, at least every 45 minutes. Okay? All right, guys. So this is an interesting graphic which helps us to kind of visualize different types of motivation. So you can see at the top, it says HS, and HS means hope of success. Okay, so some people have a very high hope of success, and some people have a very low hope of success. And then on the going from left to right, we can see FF, and that means fear of failure. Okay, and so if somebody has a high fear of failure and a high and a high hope of success, they are what we call an overstriver. In other words, maybe they get stressed out, they're working too much. They are very hopeful, but they're also kind of anxious about failing. So that could be a bit of a stressful mindset to be in the long term. If you have a low hope of success and a high fear of failure, then you're what we call a failure avoider. So basically, you're constantly just trying to avoid failure. Again, not a very nice mindset to be in, right? If you are a low hope of success, then you could, and a low fear of failure, you're a failure acceptor. In other words, okay, well, I'm going to fail anyway, so what's the point? And then on the top left, we have the optimists who have a high hope of success and a low fear of failure. So I think we would all agree that being in this table, being the optimist is the best one to be, right? So we need to try to develop our hope of success and try to diminish our fear of failure. Easier said than done, but I think this graphic shows us that it's probably healthier just to focus on success rather than failure. Does anybody have any comments about this graphic? I will share this with you. Yes, yes, teacher.
About the other one, the one that is next to optimists.
Overstriver.
Striver, yes.
Okay. What did you say, teacher?
Yes, I will. Would you mind give us an example?
So, okay, the word strive means to battle, to really try hard, right? When you're striving, you're trying hard. So an overstriver is somebody who tries too much. They're just obsessed, and they're putting too much effort into something, probably at the expense of their own mental health and their relationships with their friends and family. And really, that's not a very healthy situation. Sometimes, okay, maybe it's the reality, but it's not a good way to live your life, to be constantly wanting to do well and also frightened of failing at the same time. So the idea of this graphic is to promote the idea that it's much better to focus on the hope of success rather than the fear of failure. And if you have both high, that can be, in a way, probably the most stressful. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's true. Also, I was thinking about motivation that not only comes from myself, within myself, but also I have a friend that she's like an inspiration for me, and she does like a peer. We do like peer motivation, like we motivate one, and I think it works well for me. Absolutely.
The next slide, thank you for saying that, because it's the perfect bridge to the next slide, right? So motivation is influenced by three main factors at a college level. One is the internal factors, which we've been talking about, like setting goals and all the things that you do in your own mind. But another important one is socio-cultural factors. And I think, Teacher Katia, that's what you're referring to, right? So you have this friend who to you is an inspiration, and she motivates you to do your best and to become a better person, right?
Yes, yes. Yes.
How about your family, Teacher Katia? Do you think that your family have had much impact on your motivation as a professional?
Yes, yes, and of course, because they support my choices about my professional life. Yes, I think that that it's important. Our family too, and closest friends that also share our same ideas.
Absolutely. So the community that we grow up in has a big part of kind of forming our motivation, right?
Yeah.
Teacher Sharon, you wanted to say something?
No, sorry. I was
Okay.
listening.
Okay, no problem. Well, whenever you want to say something, just let me know. So do any of you have like the feeling that your students come from like families where maybe the kids are not really getting good like role models and good motivation to be successful learners? Is that something that any of
I'm sorry, I had this experience some time ago and it was very difficult because at the beginning, the student was very aggressive with their partners, but I was like, observing and monitoring the situation. So sometimes I went to visit, it was in Darien province. So sometimes sorry, honey, one moment. So someday I went to visit one person. Sorry, honey, one moment. Sorry.
Don't worry.
No, honey, no. And she told me,
Your daughter wants to say something.
yes, I think, no, honey, no. So give me a chance. Stay there, honey. Chanel, stay there, don't move, okay? Stay there, don't move, please. Let me go out of the room. Okay, so the thing is that that person said that this boy had many troubles, and his father was aggressive for the whole time and fighting with her mother. And at night they have many problems. They were screaming, fighting, many things. So I was like, oh my God. So then I tried to understand better the situation. Because at the beginning,
Yeah.
I was like, why reason he is aggressive with the partners? And I just,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
remember, and so I remember
That's
that, yes, at that
that's
day.
something that that's
Mhm.
something that I learned, working in Panama, that one of the the
Yes.
conduct, you call them like supervisor de conducta. She was telling me, like, at the school, she said 99% of bad behavior is a
Yeah.
cry for help. It's a cry for help. Like, students are going through some kind of anguish or some kind of sad or negative experience in their lives, usually at home in their family, and this is why they behave badly in school. It's basically a manifestation of that. So as soon as you realize that the kid is behaving badly, not because they want to be nasty or they want to make your life difficult, but this is just a result of the damage that they are experiencing. So yeah, now of course we cannot change the family situation, right?
Yeah.
We can listen to kids and we can try to sometimes give them advice or refer them to the school psychologist or help them as much as we can. But obviously we cannot physically change that environment. So what can we do? Well, the third aspect that impacts on motivation is classroom environment factors, right? So if we show respect to our students and we give them the feeling that their opinion counts and that we care about them and that we believe that they are really capable of, you know, anything, and try to encourage them to be like constantly improving, then that can be maybe compensating for what is missing in the family or in the society, the community in which they live. So, okay, unfortunately, it's not possible sometimes for all three factors to be positive, but at least we can definitely impact on the internal factors by working on self-regulation and metacognition. And we can also provide a very positive and enriching classroom environment, right? So I think that let's focus on what we can control. These two aspects we can control. These two aspects maybe we can't. This aspect maybe we can't, right? Does anybody have any other comments before I move on? Okay, so next graphic I want to show you is what are the different aspects that make up motivation. Okay, so we can see that the result of motivation is achievement, but we have value orientation, possible selves, goals, goal orientation, self-efficacy, and attributions. Now, when I saw this, I was like, some of these labels I don't really understand. I could understand goals. I could understand goal orientation. I could understand self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is like being the best, like getting the best out of yourself as possible, right? But value orientation and possible selves and attributions, I wasn't so sure about. So I would like to just give a little bit more information. I don't know if you also maybe have that doubt about those topics. Okay, so let me come. So here we can see identity, values, goals, but I want to move on to what are values, right? So values are the big aspects of our lives that really are important for us. So if you ask, like, what is like the most important thing in your family? A lot of people will say, my family. Other people will say, my health. Other people will talk about my education. Other people will talk about living in a society without discrimination. Of course, we've been living in the last 100 years with racism and discrimination against different sexualities and so on. So for many people, you know, overcoming that is super important. Other people have passionate beliefs about the environment. Other people feel that it's really important to have a work-life balance. And you can see others: financial security, religion, integrity, honesty, service, self-respect, friendship, and courage. So these are all values, okay? And we talk a lot about values at school, but you know, at university level, it's really important that students start to think about what are the values that are going to be really making them tick, that they're going to be like really important for their lives. Because as we can see, values lead to long-term goals, right? So for example, if you want to be healthy, okay, so your long-term goal is a particular weight, or you want to reduce your cholesterol or things like that. So then you have intermediate goals, right? So your intermediate goals may be, okay, let's break down my weight loss into different installments, and then that reduces down to daily actions. So it's the same kind of idea with motivation. Like, you know, if you are somebody who can commit to values, then maybe that's going to manifest itself in also your work. So I think that, you know, speaking with your students when they get to that age, like when they're in cuarto ciclo or university, and really like getting them to reflect on what is important for them right now, and what are their long-term goals, their intermediate goals, and what are they going to do on a daily basis. That kind of modeling can also manifest itself in their academic studies, okay? So people who are committed to values, who place importance in their values, tend to be successful learners, because the same kind of process that is illustrated at the top takes place in their learning. Okay, so we talked about value, and okay, there's another kind of way of looking at value, which is what something is worth to you. Like, is it something that's important or not important? So we can think about this in 4 different ways. So the first one is the degree to which one expects to enjoy the task, right? That's what we call intrinsic. The second one is the degree to which value is useful in the context of one of your goals. So that's extrinsic or utility, sorry. Number 3 is the extent to which engaging in the task is important for one's self-concept or identity. We call that attainment value. And finally, the degree to which the benefits of engaging in the task outweigh the costs. Okay, so this is some like a study that a guy called Eccles and his colleagues did, and they kind of identified these 4 factors that learners tend to have when they're thinking about their learning. So I think all 4 of those are things that we can reflect on. Okay, so remember I was saying there were certain ones that were difficult to understand. Value orientation is one of them. Now I would like to focus on attributions. Now, attributions are when basically the learner blames something on their result. So you probably heard this 100 times before, like when a student gets a bad result and they say something like, oh, I didn't feel like it, or I wasn't interested in the task, or the material was boring. Here we have lots of different you know, things that students could say. I didn't have enough time to study. So these are kind of excuses, right? Or they are bad, let's say bad attitudes. And what I would like now is if anybody could, if somebody said like, I lack ability, or I can't do it, what could you say back to them to counter this? What could you say, teachers, that could answer that? Do you remember in the growth mindset, there was a word that we said that's very useful when you're a teacher to say to the learners? Begins with why. You can't do it yet. Okay, so that little word yet is very important, right? Okay, so what about I didn't feel well? What would you say, teachers, if your student said, I didn't feel well, that's why I got a bad result? What would be
Why you didn't stay in the house?
Sorry, Teacher Belgica?
I'm just kidding. Why you didn't stay in the house? Why you didn't go to the doctor? You didn't feel well. You are not feeling well. I'm just kidding. No? But this is a lot of things that the students may use, see? Like kind of no, it's, I don't know. But
Teacher
to read
Belgica,
somebody,
what would you do? What would you do? Let me ask you. Let's imagine I'm your student, okay? And I come to you and I say, if we're having a quiz, and I say, teacher, I really don't, I feel really bad. I feel sick. I don't think I can do the test. What would be your reaction?
well, first I will say, why you didn't go to the doctor? You were not feeling well. Why you here? But you can do
Okay,
it
but let's
another
imagine I
time.
say I got a headache like in the last hour.
Mm.
Would you make me do the test?
No. You can do it later on, but I never repeat the test. It's going to be different one.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I do.
So I would hope that
Uh-huh.
everyone in this session would do the same, right? If a student says, I mean, of course, maybe you have certain protocols like, okay, go to the infirmary if your school has as a nurse, and go and speak with the nurse, and maybe they'll give you a paracetamol or something. But I mean, it would be really inappropriate if a student said they're not feeling well to make them take a test, right? So
Exactly.
No, it's
yeah.
not good.
So what would a responsible learner do if they're not feeling well?
Go to the
Tell
house.
the teacher, right, before the test. Yeah.
It
So
depends on the students, no? The kind
yeah,
of
but what I mean is, any student is capable of saying, I don't feel well. So, I mean, of course, we have to be kind of making, being aware that some students may begin to use this as a kind of, strategy to never want to take a test. And then we have to speak with them. But, it's common once a year or maybe twice a year that an individual may feel they get a headache or whatever. And so what is the responsible thing to do in that case? Speak with the teacher and tell them and ask them for a dispensation, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are behaviors that we should be encouraging and modeling, not just in our, related to our classrooms, but in the wider society. If you are not able to do something because you're not well, you should say something. It's not clever to try to do something if you're sick. So
Professor,
that would be the response. Suleika.
yes, okay. Sometimes they are not sick, but they feel not motivated because they have some problems at home. So they are right in the classroom, and you can see in their faces that they are some troubles. And of course, we have some activity that we need to evaluate. But if they are facing something like that, the students, okay, depend on the teacher also. They talk to you, so you understand that, and you can say, okay, sit and complete something. They stay there, just stay there, and the other student complete the activity. But next class, they have to complete the test, because
Okay.
it's not just because they are sick. Because after the pandemic, many students were facing or are facing family situations. It was really hard. So now, yes, we tend to make like appreciations, like, okay, they are telling lies to us. But I understood that it's not like this. They are really facing a lot of trouble because it was like a change. So as teachers, I think we need to understand that it's not because they don't want to complete the test, it's that they are not prepared emotionally for that. Maybe they have the knowledge, but they don't have, you can tell them, okay, but try, be motivated. You can be motivated, but you don't have the knowledge. Yeah, I think so. There are many things that
now we need to evaluate in our classrooms. Now.
Okay. So what about this one? I wasn't in the mood. What do we think about this? Is this justified, this comment? Or should we be trying to like counter this type of comment? What do you think? I wasn't in the mood.
Well, what I actually do is that I tell them that, well, there are many things in life that you cannot, I mean, that you don't want to do, but you have to do them because you have to go through them. And that's how we go through life here. So you have to do it. Sorry about that.
And what do we do when we're not in the mood as
To me,
adults?
To me, it's the same as the previous professor. If the student doesn't feel well, and if he or she is not in the mood, it's because he may be facing problems, situations where he cannot think in the exam, how to solve an exam or a task. So it's proper to have the communication with the teacher student in order to know what's going on and why you can do my task. It's communication may be relevant for both situations.
Yeah, I suppose we have to be a little bit careful about the difference between physical illness, which is obviously something that cannot be controlled. And I think when somebody says, I'm not in the mood, it's more like saying, no tengo ganas, like in Spanish, right? I don't really want to do it. I don't feel like at my best. But I think that, if you, if an adult said that, you would be in trouble, right? Imagine if you were in the staff room, you were supposed to be teaching at 10 o'clock, but you think, no, I'm not in the mood to give this class. I'm just going to stay in the staff room. I'm not going to give it. You would get fired if you did that more than a few times. And so we have to make students understand that, as teacher Marisol said, there are situations where maybe we don't feel like it, but we have to be resilient and find a way to do it anyway. So teacher Sharon, I'm not rejecting what you're saying. I mean, it depends, I suppose, like whether it's just I'm not in the mood, or if the person is genuinely affected by a situation at home.
I'm also thinking about the context, the way the students come across to me to say, I'm not in the mood, teacher,
right?
Because of this and that, but I'm not in the mood. Okay, well, that's something different. The way in which he or she comes across to me and tell me what is happening.
Yeah, and you know your students as well. You develop a relationship with them and you begin to be able to read them better, right? So when they're genuinely upset, you can tell, right?
Sometimes they come to me as a group and they tell, teacher, today is Friday, we're not in the mood. Why don't we leave that task to Monday or Tuesday? And then, you know, it depends on the communication.
Right.
Okay, the teacher knows the student and the way they speak, the way communication is important.
Yeah, although
Friday, I'm not in the mood either, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends how many times you have class with a group. But I always say to my colleagues, don't plan reading tasks for a Friday. That's part of planning, right? Thinking about, is it the beginning of the day or the end of the day? Is it Friday? So if it's at the end of Friday, students need to have something kind of lighthearted, something enjoyable. And so then you don't even need to have that conversation because you already took that into consideration. But I think teacher Sharon's point about being able to know when a student is genuinely, like, emotionally affected by a situation, it's more than just it's like a mood thing, but it's like, okay, I'm feeling bad because of X, Y, or Z, then yes, of course, it's appropriate to postpone the application of the assessment or whatever we're talking about. Teacher Osiris, you wanted to say something?
Well, yes, I'm agree with, I think, Professor Marisol, when she mentioned that it will depend, because even when they say like I'm not in the mood to doing it, that we have to be careful, okay, when we can let them do it or not. Because in my case, I had a student the past year that her grandma just passed away like an hour before. And she was normal, she was okay. But as soon as she found that, we was in the middle of the quiz or test, I can't remember. And she said, teacher, please, I'm not in the mood to doing it. And I said, well, that's okay. You can do it, next week, because where we have to work the empathy also with the student. But it's different if a student say like, you know what, teacher, I'm not in the mood to doing it. And you ask, why? And he said, just because it's not an answer. So you better get prepared for your exam.
So as teachers there, that's where we can have an impact, not just on their English, but on their attitude, and their responsibility in life. So we can say, well, sometimes I don't feel like doing things, but I have to do them. So why don't you focus on thinking about achieving this task, about the satisfaction you're going to have, and let's do it. And so going back to the concept of attributions, you can see here that these are basically excuses, right? These are excuses that people use to blame. So, it's important to understand that a person who does have high motivation, who is, positively motivated, the attributions are something that they need to acknowledge but go through, right? So, oh, I wasn't in the mood. Okay, well, you have to find a strategy to get through it. I don't do well on tests. Well, yeah, that's what you say, but you have to change that narrative by studying more. Okay, so the top 10 reasons that students give for bad academic outcomes are stress, anxiety, sleep difficulties, depression, cold, flu, sore throat, work, concern for a troubled friend or family member, internet use or computer games, relationship difficulties, and participation in extracurricular activities. So we can see here that many of these issues are linked to mental health, right? So successful students either have a support network where they can deal with these issues, or perhaps in their educational institution, there are psychologists or people that they can reach out to. So, again, we can share this with students at university so that they know that these are the common problems that people encounter. But the important thing is to look for help. And rather than just saying, oh, I'm stressed, so I'm not going to be able to complete my essay, they search for help to overcome those issues. Does anybody have any comments about this slide?
I think it's very interesting, and in fact, some of those things happened with some of my students some time ago. I think we must show empathy with our students, because we never know when we are going to stay in the same situation, maybe in our work, and we would like that they understand in the same way that we could understand our students. That's
yeah.
it.
I mean, I think the most important message to anybody who's going through the, mental health issues is to understand that it's normal. Okay, this is not like something that makes you different or crazy or whatever the word is, that many people suffer the same issues, and that there should be no stigma, and people should feel completely fine about searching for help, you know, and take away the stigma.
Yes, and we are humans, so we as humans, we must try to understand each other.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about different aspects of motivation, and now I'm just going to quickly go through the other remaining 5. So we know about learning strategies. Those are, you know, we've been looking at different ones. We know that there are reading strategies, that there are study strategies. So basically, this may sound obvious, but higher achieving students have more learning strategies. So your responsibility as a teacher is not so much to teach vocabulary and grammar, but it's to teach learning strategies, because the more strategies a student has, the more successful their learning will be, and the better outcomes they will achieve. The thing is that learning strategies on their own are not enough. You must have the motivation to use them. And some people talk about the skill and the will. So the skill are the learning strategies themselves, and the will is the motivation to use them. Talked about use of time. The time management is closely linked to academic achievement. So in your classes, try to build in some discussion about scheduling study time and having a plan, because good students use their time well. The most important thing is to avoid time wasting. Physical and social environment. Okay, so that's interesting. There are 2 aspects to this, physical and social. So a physical environment is obviously the place where you study. So we need to find a place which is quiet and not distracting. Okay, and that can be challenging for some people. And so the social thing is sometimes we need to work alone, but other times we need help from instructors or peers, or even, you know, the internet or whatever it is, another resource. So good students know when they need help. Okay, we always say as teachers, if you have any questions, just come and, you know, ask me. And how often do students do that? Well, what's interesting is that the research suggests that good students, the ones that get the high results, are actually the ones that ask for help. Like when they're not sure about something, they actually ask their instructor or their teacher, or they ask their friends. So asking for help when we're confused or something's not as clear as we need it to be is actually a positive thing, not a signal of weakness. Does anybody have any comments about either of these 2 aspects?
Could you repeat
Okay.
the question, please? I couldn't listen.
Sorry, Teacher Karen?
Could you repeat? Is anybody else? Your question, please. Is anybody else? You said, is anybody else?
I said, does anybody have any comments about these 2 points?
Okay, the physical and social environment are very important, not just for students, but for teachers, because they are very important. They are very important because when we are teaching and they're receiving our classes, we can see their behavior, but sometimes we don't know what is happening behind this face, or yes. So we must try to be like monitoring of situation, different kinds of situation, observe our students, For example, for me, it was an impact because, as I said before, that students that they fight with one of the students, and it was because his father fight with her mother, and in fact push, I don't know if you can push him in her face. No push, how can I say, como que le pegó, well,
It hits him in the face.
yes, and it was a difficult situation. Then you don't have an idea. I felt so sad because of this. And next class, I gave him a big hug. And then from that hug, he changed with me. He just said, I don't know why you are hugging me, but thank you.
Okay.
He just said, it was an impact.
Yeah, but I mean, we can apply this to work as well as study. So, you know, locating a quiet place to work when you're preparing your classes or when you're doing your grading, finding the right physical environment to carry out that work has a big impact on your ability to do it efficiently, right? And the same with your work as a teacher. We've been talking about speaking with peers. So if you have a problem, rather than trying to solve it yourself, reaching out to other colleagues or your coordinator is a sign of strength, you know? So this is the thing that people often think, that if you ask for help, that somehow that is a signal of your weakness, that you can't sort it out yourself. But actually, what the research shows is that the students who achieve the best results, and I would argue also you could say the same about the best teachers. At the school I work at, there are some teachers who quite regularly drop by my office to ask me for advice, or they share a problem and they say, you know, what do you think? And instead of thinking of them as, oh, you know, they're weak teachers because they're asking for my help, I actually think that they're better teachers because they're taking the time to actually ask for somebody else's input or clarification. So the message I'm trying to send here is that effective professionals and learners actually embrace others' help. They don't try to do everything themselves and think, oh, I don't understand this, but anyway, don't worry, I'm going to carry on. They actually acknowledge that they don't understand something, and they reach out to the person who they consider can help them. So that could be a peer. In a student's case, it could be another student. You know, you may say, you know, in your class, there are other students who you admire or you trust their judgment, and so you speak with them, or you ask the teacher. So I think it's important to send that message to our students on a regular basis, that them contacting you is a good thing, not a bad thing, and that you will always be available to them and even encourage them to ask questions and to reach out for help, because the research indicates that at a university level, that is synonymous with successful students. Okay? So high achieving students seek help. And then I think this is the last one, monitoring performance. Okay, so we've been talking about metacognition, and we said that for some people, metacognition is just thinking about your learning or your thought processes, but many other people have begun to use metacognition as a word to describe monitoring your performance while performing, right? So when you're doing something, thinking, how am I doing that? Am I doing okay? Do I need to change my approach? And also, we talked about exam wrappers. So students who are looking back at their tests and their other evaluations and trying to learn and get some feedback from those experiences. So this is also a very important part of being a successful learner. So here, maybe we're not going to have time to do this today, but I was going to put you in breakout rooms to do this, but maybe we can do it together as a whole class. So I'm going to ask, I hope you don't mind sharing with the rest of the class, but for example, who would like to comment on motivation? So if we say, do you think that I can self-motivate when I need to, always, sometimes, never? Who would like to share their feeling about that comment?
Sometimes, Professor.
Okay, give me a little bit more.
Motivation, as we know, we have intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. And
Mhm.
even though we work hard sometimes to motivate the students, there are a few of them that really need help.
Mhm.
It's not only enough whatever we do to motivate them, but there is certain factors that need to be treated in case that they need to, I don't know, to feel good in the classroom, to pay attention, or to be motivated to do the task in the classroom, etc., etc., etc. There are
Thank you
different things.
Thank you very
Situations.
much. Teacher Manuel, are you there? Teacher Manuel? Okay, I'll come back to you in a moment.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, teacher. Yeah. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Could you comment on how you feel about your use of time? Do you think that you effectively plan your use of time?
Okay, planning is based on the use of time, how you're going to apply in your class. Okay, planning involves time. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not talking about lesson planning. I'm talking about generally, so let's imagine a university student has to plan, okay, I'm going to work on this assignment and I'm going to do some reading and I'm going to do that. So we can think of a student, or you as a teacher, you have to plan when you're going to plan your lessons, when you're going to grade, when you're going to have a meeting. Do you consider yourself to be good at planning your time?
Well, I usually prepare an agenda of the different things that I have to do for my classes, and during the week, if I have meetings, I write down everything to make sure I don't forget it.
Right.
So, and everything is based on time.
Yeah.
What time is the meeting? What time I have to send an assignment to my students.
Yeah.
So time is very important.
Yeah. So it sounds as though you've become a very good planner of time. But what about your students? Do you think they are effective planners when it comes to their time?
Well, some of them, yeah, some of them.
Yeah.
And the others, if they do not have that habit, it's your duty as a teacher to encourage them to do it.
Right.
And tell them why it's important. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
To plan everything. Yeah. Because sometimes they forget they have a test.
Mm-hmm.
And when a classmate or the teacher remind them, they say, "Oh, ¿y él cuando dijo eso?"
Mm-hmm.
Because they were not paying attention probably, or they did not take notes. So it's important for you. It's important for you sometimes to be reminding your students about the different activities that you're going to have during the week. So they will not say, the teacher did not say in class, I didn't know, because they will always find an excuse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I would go one step further, teacher. Instead of just, reminding them, yes, it's important that you do that. But I also think that actually getting students to make a plan. So maybe you could give them a photocopy, like a weekly agenda, or if you don't have the resources in your school for photocopies, you could just they could make using a ruler and a pen, and make a schedule Monday through Sunday with the times, and actually get them to complete a plan. Like, okay, how many tests do you have? When are you going to study for them? When are you going to do this and that? And that's actually kind of like a language task anyway, because they're writing maybe in English when they're going to do things. But the idea is to actually get them to make a plan, not just remind them, but get them into the habit of doing what you do, which is that you actually write it down.
Well, in high school, every group, there is a leader in any group. Yeah, there is a secretary. And that student write down all the activities that different teachers are going to have during the week. For instance, on Monday, they have 3 assignments. If another teacher comes up that he's going to have an assignment that same day, he can't, because the schedule is already occupied. They cannot do more than 3 assignments per day. Okay, so they go to Tuesday, they have reading, they have grammar, that maybe they have geography, because English is not the only subject. Yeah, they have math, they have history. Okay, they have to hand in a project for physical education. So everything is written down what they are going to do during the week. Okay, I keep a copy, and in the group there is another copy in case any disagreement with another teacher. We come out with the paper. Look, this is what we had planned for this week. Se fue la señal.
Excuse me 1 moment. Sorry, teacher. I was listening to what you were saying. My door has just, somebody is at the door. So I'm going to have to just very quick, give me 5 seconds. I'm just going to answer the door. I'll be back. 1 moment.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. My wife had forgotten her keys. So, Teacher Manuel, thank you for sharing with us. But okay. Yeah, I think the idea of actually getting the students to commit to a plan, you know, it's a little bit like we were saying earlier, like the self-talk. If you actually speak, it turns the words into an action. And when you write a plan, there's something more concrete about it rather than just talking about it. Okay. What about the physical environment? Who else would like to comment on their own personal, I modify or change my study environment so I can concentrate? Would anybody like to share their experience in relation to physical environment?
Well, this is a very interesting kind of reflection. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can, yes? Teacher Katia.
Okay, thank you. Well, for me, the physical environment during the pandemic was very difficult because I had to stay in my room the whole day giving classes here. And wow, at a certain moment, I really just wanted to go out. So it really changed. Changing my environment, I think it's very interesting. It's very, it's very helpful, and also because concentration changes. Just to go out for a while, just to see people around, it just refresh your mind. So you can go back and then continue working in that sense, because that's why I understand why so many people get like kind of depressed during pandemic, because had to be inside the same place, the same room for hours and hours and days and weeks. So of course, I think that I'll modify a lot. That is something that really have to say that always.
Yeah,
Because a little bit of change is always better.
exactly. Thank you very much for sharing. And then the next one is social environment. And remember, that is basically the people that you can reach out to help for. So here we have, I seek help when I need it. Would anybody like to share their personal experience in relation to that, whether they consider that they are somebody who does that or doesn't do that? If you have a problem professionally, do you generally try to resolve it yourself, or do you reach out for help?
Well, I usually share it with my friends and
Okay.
my professional friends.
Yep.
So, and then always something comes up, and they always give you ideas and things that you can do and good advice.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you have a good support network there where people can give you advice which you value.
Yes. Yes.
Great. Do you think that students do that naturally?
Some of
Yeah.
them, not all of them.
Right.
When I was a student, I used to have my friends too, like group
Yeah.
that we used to do the assignments, everything
So
together, share everything. Mm.
yeah. So the idea here is that what I'm trying to make everybody realize here is that probably some of these components you do, and other ones maybe are areas for improvement. For example, sometimes my use of time is not so good. I think I could be better at planning my time. I think I'm pretty good with the social environment. I'm always able to share any doubts with my boss or other people in the leadership to get their perspective. And I think that I can self-motivate, but sometimes maybe I don't evaluate myself enough. Maybe I should be trying to determine how well I'm doing against a certain projects or whatever. So it's the same with our students, right? Some of them will naturally be good at some of these, but what we need to try and do is get all of our students to be good at all of these things, right? Or to at least be aware of all of these things, because the research shows that these are the 6 factors that most determine success. Intelligence has very little to do with it. These factors are far more important and influential than ability or intelligence. Okay, so students who are mindful of these issues will be more successful. So I invite all of you as teachers to consider what you can do to develop those factors in your students, and hopefully in the future we will have a generation of more successful university students, and that will have a beneficial impact on society. All of us are working towards a better society. That's what teaching is about, right? Helping individuals to become the best version of themselves, and thereby helping the society to also become better. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna give you a break now, but I'm also going to explain that today I'm actually traveling to the United States. My flight is at 6 p.m. So I spoke with teacher Veronica and Marisol yesterday, and what we agreed is that we're going to give you some time after the break to work on your asynchronous task, okay? So basically from, let's say, 3 o'clock until 4 o'clock, we ask that you maintain the connection to the meeting, because at 4 o'clock, the closing ceremony of the course will start. And hopefully I'll be able to connect from my cell phone once I have checked in and gone through security, and I'll be able to say goodbye to all of you that way. So basically what I'm going to do is set you the task, and you can take a break now and then work on the task. Hopefully you'll have time to finish it before 4 o'clock, but if not, you can continue either this evening or tomorrow. The deadline to upload the task is midday tomorrow. Okay, let me share with you the task. Just let me get that. Okay, so I'm going to be uploading this document to the Google Classroom. My first idea was to give you a group task, but then I thought, that might cause problems, because we know that some people have cell phones and they're not able to connect to breakout rooms, and some people might fall out and then it would be complicated to get them back. So in the end, I decided to give you an individual task to work on. Okay, so as you know, we've been talking about these components of self-regulation, which the research indicates are the 6 most important things that university students need to be successful. And here we basically have 2 cases. We have Maria. This text is about Maria. And then we have Jan. Okay? And what I want you to do is to basically write a short analysis of each student's self-regulation in relation to motivation, use of time, methods of learning, control of one's physical environment, control of one's social environment, and monitoring performance. Okay? So read the case and then analyze, and then give a little description, about 25 words maybe, for each of those components. So you're going to do both Maria and Jan, okay? So, you know, I mean, you need to do 2 in an hour. So let's divide that. That's 30 minutes for each one. And you have 6 components. So if it takes you 5 or 10 minutes to read, you have about 3 minutes to write a short analysis of each component. Does anybody have any? And then you need to upload that to the platform. Does anybody have any questions before we stop for the break?
Is this gonna be? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Teacher Erica.
Do you want us to make what is the regulation we will do in these 6 different parts?
No, what I want you to do is comment on how you think that particular person, do they have good motivation or bad motivation? So according to the information that you will receive, you're going to comment, okay, well, Maria is highly motivated because blah, blah, blah. But her use of time is not good because blah, blah, blah. Okay, so basically showing your ability to analyze a case according to those 6 criteria. Okay, and you're going to do two cases. Does anybody, Teacher Katia, did you have a question?
Yes, I would like to know if this is going to be the last, the final assignment.
Yes, it is.
Great.
Unless you want another one, I can give you another one if you want.
Yeah, and the advantage of this one is that you have time to do it now, you see, instead of waiting for later.
So we're giving you some time now, and I believe that you can finish it in an hour. Okay, so okay, maybe we should take the break now, so you can have 10 minutes break, and then you'll have about 55 minutes to work on the task. And like I said, don't panic. If you don't finish, you can carry on and upload it before midday tomorrow.
So everything is uploaded on the Google Classroom, right?
I'm just about to upload it now. So as soon as you finish your break in 10 minutes, you'll be able to see it.
All right.
Okay. So remember, guys, you have to do 2 tasks, 2 people, 2 cases, and you have to analyze them according to the 6 criteria.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't go away. Remember that we are going to have our closing ceremony at 4.
Stay connected.
Question, please.
Yep.
So we are going to analyze 2 cases with all the criteria. We're not going to select one of the criteria.
No, each of the 6.
Okay.
So in terms of motivation, you could just put you could say Maria, motivation, and a sentence. Maria, and then put use of time. Maria's use of time, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
All right. Okay, guys. So it's been a pleasure to spend this week with you. And I've really enjoyed listening to all of your experiences, ideas, thoughts. You know, it's always interesting for me to hear about all those different challenges and successes that you're having. I admire all of you for your passion and commitment to your profession. And I know that, you know, 20 hours is a long period of time, and you've all kept up your energy levels, and it's been a pleasure to share these 20 hours with you. So I hope I will be able to connect from the airport and be part of the closing ceremony. But this is the end of my input sessions. And thank you so much for your attention and participation.
Thank you. Oh, we have something to share with you before you leave. Veronica, do you have the flyer of the seminar? Well,
sure.
Well, Danielle, you don't have to stay if you don't want to. We are just going to make publicity to what the activities we are going to we are going to have after this seminar. So thank you very much, Danielle. God bless you. Well, we'll
have a
see
nice
you
trip.
at 4:30. Yes.
Yeah, I hope to be with you at 4:30. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
All right. Good luck, everybody, with your task. And I'm uploading the thing now, so you'll be able to see it when you come back. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Okay.
you. Have a great travel. Bye.
Bye. Okay. This is our second seminar. It will be from February 13th to February 17th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. midday, from 8 in the morning to 12 a.m. midday. And the cost is $30. It is 40 hours. It's going to be also virtual. And for those that are taking the diplomado, it will be the second model of the diplomado.
And you don't have to enroll it.
Sorry?
And they don't have to enroll it because it is included in the diplomado.
Exactly. If you are enrolling the diplomado, this is the second module for the diplomado. If you are not enrolling the diplomado, but you want to take the second seminar, the second seminar is $30, and it will be virtual from the second week of February. The second week of February. Ay, Dios mío. Ese es September 10, mi mente no se puede que se termine el año.
It's like, okay, something else. If you are not taking the diplomado, but you would like to take it because you have already taken the first module, you are still in time to enroll in the diplomado.
Okay. Thank you for making it clear.
Yeah.
Can you remind us the other contact session for the diplomado, please?
Yes, let me do that. Give me a second. Oh. Okay, wait. Give me a second. This is it. Okay, this is the diplomado. The cost of the diplomado is $150. If you already paid your $60 for this first seminar, then you are only spending $90. And it's 160 hours. It has from this first seminar that we are finishing today was virtual. The second one is virtual. The third one is going to be presential. And the last one, the last model is going to be virtual.
Yeah, but there are going to be alternatives for the one that cannot be in the third module presential.
In the third module presential. So it will be hybrid.
It will be, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, could you repeat that, please? About the third one?
Okay, the third one is presential, but if in any case, people like the colleague that is in Chiriquí, the one that is in Los Santos, the one in Colón, and they cannot be here at the campus in face to face, then you will have the opportunity to do it online.
Excellent, great.
Virtually.
Actually,
Teacher Veronica.
Yes.
Okay, I already accessed the link. I enrolled in the diplomado, but I can see that you have another classroom, Google Classroom group.
We have two groups. We have two groups. The one for the seminar, this seminar that is finishing, and the one for the diplomado.
Well, actually, I'm only in one of the groups. I'd like to get the access to the other one.
Okay. Which one are you in?
Okay. Actually, I'm in the seminar, and I enrolled in the diplomado as well, but I don't have the diplomado.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We are going to give you the access for the diplomado. But remember that your first assignments of the first module are going to be in the seminar because you're enrolling now for the diplomado, unless you want to reload all of the assignments in the diplomado.
So that's the question that I have. Yeah. I did all my assignments for the seminar, every one of them, okay? But now I have to upload it again into the diplomado, the same one?
No, you don't need to.
Okay.
You don't need to. Because it's already in the seminar.
Okay, good. So all I need is to get into the classroom for
the diplomado.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I have both questions. The first one is about the final paper that we have to present, but he didn't put on the platform yet.
It was uploading that as soon as he finished the class.
Yeah, it is there.
Classroom.
It is there. It says module 5.
The professor already uploaded the
it says there.
I looked before and it didn't appear yet.
You need to refresh your page.
Okay. The second question is about the diplomado. How can I do to register me?
So you need the information to register for the diplomado. We'll send it to you.
Okay.
Is there anybody else that is connected that needs this for us to resend you this information for the diplomado?
I got a question, Professor Veronica. I'm
tell me.
From Los Santos, you know. At that time, where is module 3, we have already started school, and I go to school at the afternoon shift. So the hybrid alternative will be, when are you planning to have that hybrid, the ones that will not go presential?
It's at the same time. It's at the same time. The difference is that you are not going to be face to face in the campus, but you are going to be online. but at the same time.
That was my question. That's what I can enroll in the diplomado because
yeah,
that we have already started school.
Okay, let me ask if there is going to be a YouTube alternative there, and then I will tell you by the end of the year.
If there is
Yeah.
another alternative, Professor Marisol, Professor Veronica, I would like to take it, okay?
okay.
Okay.
We'll get back to you.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know. Yeah, by
I want to suggest for all the ones that are connected and you are enrolled in the diplomado or you are interested in taking the diplomado, please write on the Zoom chat. I am enrolling the diplomado. I am interested in the diplomado, so that we can have a clear picture of who are already in the diplomado, because we are, as somebody said, they are taking the diplomado, but they are only enrolled in the seminar. So we want to like make the match with the two lists to see if people are enrolled correctly. So please take 2 minutes and write on the Zoom chat, I am enrolling the diplomado, so we can check, or I am interested in the diplomado, so we can resend you the information.
Okay, can I speak now? Yes?
Yeah.
Or no? Okay. Marisol and Veronique, both of you know that I have problems to send my homework number 4 today. It's already done, but I think that I am going to have problems with this last assignment.
Okay, let me ask you something. Did you send that assignment previously and you're trying to change it, or what? What is it that you did?
Okay. My error was that I finished this assignment, so I put to send, okay? But I opened it again to correct the error, grammar error. So appear both. So I think that is the reason that I can't send my homework, because there are 2 attached documents. I sent the picture to Veronica. Veronica have the picture that I sent her. It appeared 2 documents as attached. So I think that I'm going to have problem to send or to share this last.
It doesn't have anything to do with this new assignment. This new assignment is in another on another link.
Yeah.
You are having problem with the link number 4, not with the last.
I hope so that you are telling the truth.
I'm telling you that it doesn't.
Okay.
There are 2 different links.
If I have problems, I'm gonna let you as soon as possible. I can, Veronique, I can post the assignment, and I'm going to take a picture as I did before. Okay.
Okay, Professor.
Okay, and I'm going to write that I'm going to enroll the diplomado to your chat, to your cellular phone.
You.
Okay.
No,
okay.
Right here in the Zoom chat. In the Zoom chat.
Okay. Right now.
Yeah,
okay.
Right now in the Zoom chat.
Okay. I'm going to do it.
Okay, as I was asking you, Teacher Veronica, are you gonna send me a classroom code to get into the new classroom for the diplomado?
Yeah, we are. As soon as we have the information here, anybody that is missing, we are going to send them the information.
I'm gonna write you in the Zoom chat. I'm in the diplomado. I need the classroom code so you can know what
exactly. I need. Perfect, Teacher Tanya. That will work.
Professor I think there is something in the chat room. It says, agradecemos su participación en este seminario. Por favor, llenar la evaluación. Please, could you complete the form, the evaluation of this seminar? It is in the chat room.
No, what is?
It is in the chat room of the Zoom.
¿Dónde está?
Okay, let me, educación continua. Let me resend it. Oh, ya, they resend it again. It's right there.
Okay, I send the message. I place my cell number.
Okay. I found. Okay, I'm going to.
Please complete the form, the evaluation for the seminar.
Okay.
Professor Veronica, should we stay connected until 4:30 or we should reconnect later on?
You have to, no, you have to stay connected because you're going to have the closing ceremony. The dean wants to greet you.
¿Cómo que se llama el
The
profesor?
director of the department wants to greet you.
Danielo.
Okay, thank you, Veronique.
So you have to stay connected. Remember that it is until 5, okay? You have to stay connected.
As we are doing the assignment, please still connected.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. 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 Lisa. Okay. Okay.
Also, if you have not completed your attendance sign up, please do so also. Remember that is important.
Bueno, ya yo llené entonces el documento, profesora. La lista de asistencia y la evaluación al profesor. Profa, el profesor hizo un comentario hace un momento. Él iba a subir la tarea, ¿verdad? Ay, disculpe, la de hoy, ¿verdad?
Sí, ya la subió.
Ya la subió.
Esta es la hora de la bebé comer.
Tiene que refrescar su pantalla, porque ya la subió.
Y hay que subirle esa tarea entonces antes de las 4.
Si la terminó antes de las 4, lo puede subir. No, tiene hasta mañana al mediodía.
Ah, perfecto, muchas gracias. Ok, gracias. Profe, una consulta, es que me quedan, ¿cómo le digo? Ya después que uno completa eso, ¿se puede retirar o alguien más va a hablar o van a
vamos a hacer el closing ceremony a las 4.
Así que recuerde que el seminario es hasta las 5, así que se tiene que quedar conectado, tiene que cumplir con las horas.
Sí, es que pensé que nada más estaba la profe Verónica y que se habían ido porque no se escucha ruido, no se escucha nada.
No, es que están haciendo la tarea, se supone que van al break, no han ido al break todavía, Verónica.
Oh, lo siento.
Ajá.
Sí, exacto, por eso yo me digo, ¿qué será? ¿Será que nada más está la profe Verónica? Ok, gracias, profe.
Ok.
So can we take the break or?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thanks.
¿Cuántos minutos son, profe?
12 minutos. 12 minutos y regresan.
Gracias.
Ok.
sea que se puede tomar el otro seminario, que es el 13. Sí, pero este ya no. Ya no. ¿Cómo se escribe metaconexión?
¿Cómo se escribe?
No sé, metacon.
Pero yo como me paso la yo posible ya no para que me trabajo por esquina hasta mañana. Para entregar de cocina en paz, contestar y todo eso, para a las 5, pues faltan como 2 horas. Sí, así que esperarlo mucho,
Hello, Marisol. Hello. Are you listening to me?
Professor, we are in a break, I think.
Ah, okay.
Tengo que meter el carro, pero se me salen las perras. La metemos para allá, yo entro. Ujú.
Voy. Amarilis, are you there? Amarilis, could you try to upload your assignment number 4 again, please?
Buenas tardes, perdonen.
I tried it, but it was impossible. Yo
No, try right now.
I tried
Amarilis,
it.
right now,
no,
right now, right now,
Yes.
right now to see if the problem was solved.
No. And I'm doing the
No, but
final.
do it right now because I mean it was reassigned to you again. So do it right now to see if the problem was solved.
No. I am so I am sure that I'm going to have the same problem
when
I
try
want
because
to send the final. I'm working on it at this moment, and I'm working on it, and it appeared the assignment number 4 in the same when I am working now. I think that I have to wait for on Monday to ask to Josue or someone in the Jacinto or someone on the how can I say that?
Now, in your classroom, Amarilis, you have module 4 above module 5. Is that it? Now,
yes.
Click in module 4 and reload it again to see what happens.
I did, but I'm going to do again.
Amarilis, escucha. Hace un momento tenías el problema de que tenías 2 asignaciones. Se trató de ajustar tu plataforma para que vuelvas a subir la tarea nuevamente. Trata ahora, en este momento.
I understood that Marisol said. I'm going to do. Okay, just a moment. Just a moment. A ver. A ver. Trabajo en clase. Ver tarea. Y ahora es donde está, ahora no me aparece. Ahora dónde está.
¿Cómo no te aparece?
Antes me aparecía aquí que estaba el el módulo con el cosa ya no me aparece. Let me back, déjame regresar.
Okay.
A ver. Ay, Dios mío.
Hello, may I ask a question, Veronica?
Yes, sure.
Marisol?
Yes.
I have two assignments pending. I still have time to turn it in?
You have to assign what?
I have two assignments pending.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody that has any type of assignment pending, you have between today and tomorrow at midday to complete your assignment that are pending.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
Somebody, Karen, teacher Karen.
Dígame, profesora.
Your hands is raised. You wanted to ask a question?
Que sí, que gracias a lo que usted dijo hace un momento.
Ah, okay. And teacher Erika, do you have something to say? Do you have any question?
Just to let you know, because professors are supposed to fulfill the asynchronous assignments. With this one that we are doing, there are 5.
Exactly.
5, because we created some assignments that we did in class.
Yeah, no, it's just the asynchronous assignments that are 5.
Just 5 with the one that we are doing right now.
Exactly. Yes. Just 5 asynchronous assignments.
I just have one question. The assignment number 5, we have to put some comment, we have to publish, and our partners are going to make some commentaries, or we have to upload the file in the zip.
Yeah, you have to upload your file in the asynchronic link for today. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. No. You only upload it and that's it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I can find my word. Ahora no lo encuentro, ahora no aparece nada. ¿Qué me hicieron?
¿Cómo que no lo encuentras?
No, ¿te acuerdas que la foto que yo le mandé a Verónica ahí aparecía el adjunto? Ahora no aparece nada, como si yo no hubiera hecho nada.
Bueno, vuelve a adjuntar. Vuelve a adjuntar, querida. Vuelve a adjuntarlo.
¿A dónde lo busco?
¿De dónde lo adjuntaste, teacher Marisol? ¿De dónde lo adjuntó hace un rato?
Amarilis, ¿de dónde lo adjuntaste? Yo no sé dónde lo adjuntó ella.
O sea, cuando yo terminé de hacer el trabajo, que yo trabajé en Word, y yo lo adjunté a donde dice...
Búsquelo en Word, pues. Si lo trabajo en Word, búsquelo en Word.
Déjame ver para ver. Ay, Dios bendito. Y espero que haya sido inteligente que lo haya guardado. Espérate. ¡Oh! me puede dar un infarto de miocardio porque eso me
Pero es que
costó
primero,
mucho trabajo.
es que tú no puedes subir un file si no lo has guardado, porque ¿dónde lo vas a buscar?
Porque esa tarea se estaba larga, sinceramente.
Sí, pero es que ninguna tarea se puede subir si no se ha guardado, porque a la hora de subir una tarea tú tienes que buscar el file que has guardado.
Sí, déjame ver dónde está Word aquí en este celular. Ay, Dios mío. Yo que estaba contenta haciendo mi quinta tarea aquí ya para salir de eso. Para desconectarme. ¿Dónde está Word aquí?
Hay que añadir el documento desde Classroom, buscarlo desde Classroom.
Ah.
Adjuntar archivo, dice allí en la parte de la derecha. Tiene que buscarlo desde allí.
Espera,
no, pero tienes que buscar el archivo que vas a adjuntar.
Pero desde Classroom, tiene que estar en Classroom y le dice adjuntar y después lo busca. Para que lo agregue.
¿Será?
Así es.
Tiene que saber el nombre también que le puso, profe, el nombre. Para buscarlo tiene que saber qué nombre le puso. Y dónde lo guardó. Si tiene una carpeta del seminario.
Ay, no, yo no fui tan tecnológica. Así como yo no había tenido problemas ayer ni antes de ayer para mandar las otras, yo nunca pensé que me iba a pasar este chasco que me ha pasado hoy. Ahora, imagínense que yo ni siquiera encuentro el bendito Word aquí en este celular. Ay, Dios mío.
Es mejor que se metan en
¿Pero qué fue lo que le hicieron a
Pero
mi,
no
a mi,
tiene
a
que
mi-
buscar Word. No tiene que buscar
No.
Word. Tiene que entrar a Classroom y después hacer browse. O sea, lo que pasa es que en el celular se pone en el Drive. Mire a ver. Entre
Ajá.
como si va a mandar el archivo.
Espérate, déjame entrar a Classroom. Déjame entrar aquí. Classroom, ajá. Entonces, cuando entro a Classroom,
Déjame ver cómo yo lo hago de ese.
Ajá.
Digamos, te metes a Classroom, te tocas Promoting Self-Regulated, que estás en la tarea, en el grupo correcto, ¿no? Luego,
Promoting Self-Regular Learning, ajá, y toco.
Ese es el grupo. Entonces, usted busca la asignación ahí, que es la primera. ¿Cuál es la que va a entregar la última?
La 4.
A la 4, ok.
Trabajo en clase
Es la
a las
1, 2,
4.
3 para abajo, es la tercera. Dice 4_ asynchronous. Bueno, toca ahí.
Espérate.
Como ya yo
Es
entregué.
el módulo number 4.
Ajá.
Módulo number 4.
Entonces, ahí abajito, sí,
Ajá.
okay. Abajo dice el que plus, agregar trabajo, ¿no? Hay como un signo de más. A mí me sale
Ajá.
ahí que usted va a ver y que drive, camera, scanner, subir.
Espérate.
En una de esas usted guardó, si lo guardó.
Espérate, aquí dice Google Drive, vínculo, archivo. Toqué archivo, no hay nada. Busqué documentos, no hay nada.
¿Y en Drive?
En Drive. Espérate, Google Drive.
No me toque Drive, donde dice Drive, dice mi unidad, computadoras, compartidos.
Reciente, mi unidad.
Toque ahí. Ahí le salen todos los archivos que usted tiene. Todas las tareas que tiene.
Espérate.
Si le puso un nombre específico.
Espérate, para ver. Pero toco, pero ¿cómo hago para abrirlo? Aquí está, pero ¿cómo hago?
Bien, déjame ver. Como si fuese yo a entrega, porque como ya yo entregué, no me da la opción. Pero...
Solo le da doble clic allí, profe. Doble clic para que se...
Abajo dice, espérate, selección, espérate, busca dónde está. Ajá. Usted tiene que seleccionarlo tocando el archivo, se va a poner un ganchito como azul encima de él. Luego hace seleccionar.
No, pero no me sale nada.
Tóquelo hasta que se le ponga.
Aquí está el documento, lo acabo de ver.
Ok. Usted tóquelo hasta que se le ponga como un check, un ganchito azul.
Nada, mi reina.
Entonces usted no lo tiene guardado ahí.
Ahí dice abrir imagen en pestaña nueva, vista previa de imagen, copiar imagen, descargar imagen.
Descárguela.
Descargar imagen.
Sí. Entonces,
desea volver a descargar el archivo.
Ajá.
¿Será que es ese? Vamos a ver.
Y si se pone mi unidad, para ver si le sale mi unidad. A veces se guarda en el mismo, ¿cómo se llama? La galería del celular, a veces se guarda ahí. Y se pone mi unidad, puede que le quede ahí. ¿Cómo usted lo guardó? Como un documento de Word.
Es que mira que ahorita nada más que me sale lo que estoy trabajando ahora, que es los dos casos. Por eso que yo le estoy diciendo que yo voy a tener que...
Ajá, te escucho.
Por eso que yo le dije ¿cómo se llama? A Marisol, que yo voy a tener que esperar el lunes para ver si los técnicos de allá de la dirección de informática o así todos me lo pueden recuperar, porque yo aquí, porque hasta antes de que le hicieron lo que le hicieron ahí aparecía, porque yo le mandé la foto a Verónica, ahí aparecía el adjunto en el módulo 4, ahí estaba, pero ¿qué le hicieron? Yo no sé, y ahora no me aparece el documento.
Pero usted me dijo que lo vio antes, eso es lo importante, está ahí. ¿Lo descargó? ¿Usted lo descargó?
No, sale, es la hoja donde, espérate. Ay, Dios mío. Te voy a volver. Me dijiste que entre de nuevo a...
Bueno, podemos hacerlo de nuevo mientras haya tiempo. No sé qué dice Verónica.
Es que yo estaba clarita, o sea, yo estaba clarita que eso yo no lo iba a poder resolver. Eso es de tecnología. Y empezaba a ir o despacito o la dirección
Bueno, dele. Usted
no, pero lo
ya
que
si,
pasa es
si
que
tiene
entonces,
que le ayude.
pero
¿Ah?
ahora se me desaparece, por eso que yo lo tenía ahí, ahora se me
Pero
desapareció.
usted lo puso en Word. ¿Dónde lo puso? Dígame, ¿dónde lo guardó? ¿Lo
O sea,
mandó en Word, lo mandó en WhatsApp? ¿Dónde lo guardó?
No, mire, yo entré, hice el trabajo, dicho sea de paso, larguísimo. Entonces, yo lo trabajé en Word y cuando ya yo le ponía el ganchito de que ya estaba guardado, ya me aparecía ahí donde decía enviar. ¿Me entiende? Entregar, enviar. ¿Qué pasa? Que me doy cuenta que tenía bastantes errores gramaticales porque me los tenía señalados y empecé a corregirlos y volví lo envié. Entonces me aparecían los dos. Como habían dos, la aplicación no me permitía enviarlo porque tenía dos y no sabía cómo borrar uno de los dos para que solamente quedara uno. Entonces yo le mandé la foto a Verónica para que Verónica viera que ya mi tarea estaba hecha y que simplemente no me
Amarilis,
permitía enviar. Ajá.
En tu tarea aquí no aparecía nada, por eso se te volvió a reasignar, porque no aparecía nada en tu tarea.
O sea, tú me quieres decir a mí que todo lo que yo escribí se perdió.
Es que la tarea estaba en tu plataforma, pero no en el Classroom. Hasta que tú no le dieras enviar y que se enviara, no iba a aparecer en el Classroom para ser evaluado.
Lo que pasa es que
Y
hay
tampoco,
4 pasos,
y un momento, y si tú lo enviaste desde tu celular, tú debes de tenerlo ahí, tienes que buscarlo, porque de ahí es de donde tú lo apuntaste a la plataforma para enviarlo.
Por eso que yo te
¿Cómo
dije que yo iba a esperar el lunes.
En tu caso?
Por eso fue que yo te dije que yo iba a esperar el lunes, porque uno sabe hasta dónde es su capacidad de cosas. Y yo sé que hasta ya yo no
Yo le voy a
daba
hacer
más.
una preguntita más. ¿Usted hizo el trabajo en el celular o en la computadora?
En el celular.
Ok, tiene que estar allí. ¿Me explico?
Pero la pregunta es, ¿dónde?
Si usted terminó de escribir y usted hizo guardar el drive es la nube, el drive es la nube, búsquelo allí.
Sí, búsquelo en la nube, ahí debe de estar.
Vamos a la nube para ver.
De nuevo, usted dice que lo vio antes.
Yo le enseñé eso a Verónica, para que Verónica supiera que yo había hecho el trabajo, pero no lo iba a poder mandar porque había un problema ocasionado por mí misma por haber enviado 2 documentos. Perdón, parece que nada más que tiene capacidad para que se envíe uno solo, ¿no? Así que yo estaba tranquila cuando ese trabajo está ahí y cuando yo tenga el técnico, pero ahora con lo que le hicieron, se desapareció el documento. Vamos a la nube para ver. OneDrive. A ver.
Es que el documento
Pero
siempre está
Marisol,
en el lugar de salida.
Profesor Amarilis, nosotros no tenemos acceso a su celular. Así que lo único que tenemos acceso es a la plataforma de Classroom. Que nosotros por ninguna forma podemos que se desaparezca su documento de su celular. Porque nosotros no tenemos acceso a la información que usted tiene en su celular.
Espérate. Organizar, pero es que yo no, aquí, a ver, la que me está hablando dice copia de seguridad, pero es copia de seguridad de la cámara.
No, lo que pasa es que usted está diciendo OneDrive, no. Drive solamente, que es como un triángulo que tiene 3 colores, ¿ah?
Exacto, Drive tiene 3 colores, rojo, azul y amarillo, o rojo, verde y amarillo, ¿verdad?
Cuando usted hace que va a enviar la tarea en Classroom, le salen como 6 iconos. Drive, camera, scanner, subir. Bueno, usted hace Drive.
No, yo no había hecho eso en las otras 2 tareas, mira. Por eso que estoy
No,
diciendo
porque,
que...
porque usted ahora mismo está buscando el archivo, por eso estamos viendo para dónde está. Está en el limbo, acuérdense. Hay que buscarlo, toque ahí a ver si está para que entre a su unidad. A la computadora no, porque definitivamente no, pero y en recientes.
On the time, each one of you to that took the time to be with us for a whole week. It has been a learning experience for each one of us, with stress, with no stress, with ups and downs. But at the end, I am surely I'm sure that we all learn something new, that we all take something from this seminar promoting self-regulated learning in English language teaching. There are things that we need to do as participants of any of the seminars in this modality. Remember, there are requirements that we are not the ones to say, yes, we are going to do it, no, we are going to not do it. It is a requirement from the VX. At the end of the seminar, we need to send a list with the participants and the assignments they comply with. After we send that list with that report, then they start preparing the certificates. So it's not that we want to stress any teacher, but those are the requirements for the seminars. You have 20 hours of synchronic work. That's the 20 hours that we had with Professor Daniel Lowe during the evening, the afternoon shift from 1 to 5. And we have 20 hours synchronic time so that we can work by ourselves or work in group to comply with the assignments that we were required to, that we were comply to complete that 40 hours. The seminar in the frame is supposedly from 8 to 5, but we are having half synchronic and half asynchronic. So you have to comply with that period of time. I am sorry, but those are the disposition from the VX, and we all need to comply with that. At the end, we need to send a report with all that information to the VX so that your certificate can be issued. If you have not complied with that, then we start having problems. And it's not, oh, I am going to do it next week. Because remember, we only have a week as a break, and then the second week of February, we have our second seminar. So we need to comply with the information of this seminar to start clean with the second seminar. So just to make this clear and for every one of the participants that are here.
Another thing is that the last day of this second seminar is Viernes de Carnaval.
That's why you should comply. Okay, that's why you should comply with everything for you to be able to go on your carnivals and celebrate everything.
But it's in the morning. I think
yeah, and it's in the morning. Exactly, Professor Juventina. It's in the morning, so she will have all the rest of the day to do whatever she feels like.
Okay. Okay, Marisol and Veronique, I ask you, let me, until on Monday, how can I solve homework number 4 if I have the possibility to find in somewhere inside my cellular phone. If don't, I have to do again. I work on the last number 5. So I ask you, understanding the situation, let me until Monday to resolve this situation. I don't know how to name it. It's better that
Okay, Professor Amarili, we are not going to be able to solve the situation at this point. So let's continue and we see what happens after. But at this point, we are not going to try to solve it because that's something that has to do with your cell phone, not with our platform. So
yes, okay, but I am going to look for help on Monday with technician, people who knows.
But you already put in your mind that it has to be on Monday, and that's what I'm saying. The rule is that until tomorrow admitted. So if you cannot comply with that, we cannot solve the situation at this point. We cannot solve the situation at this point, Professor Amarilis.
But how? How? I don't know.
Professor Amarilis. Professor Amarilis, we can stay until night at this point, and we cannot solve the situation at this point because you have to solve the situation with your cell phone. You did your homework. You have to look for the information in your cell phone so that you can upload it. If you don't look for it calmly in your cell phone to upload it, what can we do?
Profesora Marili, ¿usted no tiene algún hijo o nieto que le ayude a buscar el archivo? Es que en los celulares es un poco más complicado. Pero si usted hizo esa tarea, ese archivo debe estar en su celular, profesora.
See, it should be there, but she needs to look for it calmly. She's not going to find it at this point because she's stressed out and she has in her mind that she has to wait until Monday to do that. So her mind is not set to look for anything. But at this point, we cannot solve that situation. So we continue. Sorry for the rest of you that has to pay attention to all this. So now we'll call Professor Adrian Jimenez, who is the director of the school, of the English school, of the English department of the College of Humanities of Universidad de Panama, who will give us the closing words.
Hi, good afternoon. I think it has been an excellent seminar. We have learned a lot, like different situations, different aspects. And I would like just to mention some aspects that I think that are important. The first one has to do with the way of learning, that sometimes we think that we already know everything, that we know already all the methods, and I think the seminar has taught us that there are new things to learn, there are new things that we can teach, new ways of teaching, and also helped me to realize about the mindset, no? And there are different situations, like for example, the one that we have here at this moment that we have. I'm sure that we are going to find a solution. So if you have like the stress, don't worry that God will help you. And if you cannot make it, I'm sure that a solution will take place. So trust God, trust the system, and you will do it. Another thing that I learned is that it's important to learn from each other. Like, for instance, Professor Manuel, I remember that the first time that I went to university to work, he gave me the hand. Also, many of you, you gave me like the support, the help. You made me feel part of the English department. I think this is important, no? That we are here friends to learn from each other, and that you can feel free to ask. Don't feel afraid for the new ones. You have friends here who will help you to continue and to improve. And also, I'm sure that you're going to help us because nowadays with the technology, I have realized that if we don't look for help, we are going to die academically. So it's important to survive. We are like in the same boat, like we used to say. So we need to help each other. And finally, I would like to say thank you to the members of the committee. I know I have been there and it's a lot of pressure, no? And it's a lot of stress, but this is part of life, no? Sometimes there are difficulties, but the reward, the fruits will take place in the future. So we are going to apply all that we have learned here. Also, Professor Daniel Lowe, I don't know if he had the opportunity to get in contact with us. Thank you, Professor. I have realized that you were very well prepared and you gave your best. Even like the last minute at 5 p.m., you wanted to continue giving classes and working hard. So it caught my attention. No? So you will have to tell me like the secret to continue like getting motivated and that energy that you portrayed through your seminar. Thank you very much. I'm sure that you will see that we are going to do our best also following your model, your example. And thank you everybody for the Minister of Education. It's good like to see each other at least a few hours here. Professors that are also in other universities that I had the opportunity to meet them. So I think that it's an excellent opportunity to share. Thank you for sharing and giving your points of view, your experience. It has been like an excellent seminar. Thank you. This is what I wanted to share. Thank you. I want you to continue with the others.
Thank you, Professor Adrian, for those wonderful words. And yeah, I'm sure we all learned something different and we are leaving this room with a different attitude and with the mindset of self-motivation. Oh, the baby want to say something. So now we are going to call Professor Marisol Ortega to give us her closing word as the coordinator of this committee.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Veronica, Professor Adrian. Well, what can I say? I have learned so much. I mean, that I'm sure that you have too. I mean, there are many concepts and many things that are new for many of us. I don't know the others, but for many of us, there are many things that we have to put into practice. And also there were things that we knew, but with this seminar, we have reflected a lot on our practices and what we do in our classroom. I'm sure that for most of you, this was the situation. So thank you for being here. And thank you for having that spirit of self-improvement, of continuing. And I mean, as Veronica said, when you want to do something, you find a way to do it. When you don't, you find excuses. You see?
Yeah, so, you remember my proverb.
Oh yes, oh yes. And I decided to keep it, I mean, to acquire it and to have it in mind all the time, because that's something that helps you whenever you find something that is difficult and that you want to do it. You might just find an excuse and say, no, that's too difficult. But if you want to do it, you're going to find the way to do it. And you're going to find a way to comply with it and go ahead and improve yourself. And with whatever situation in life you find, you're going to find that, well, I could find an excuse or I could go ahead and find the solution.
Yep.
So that's how it is. That's how life is. That's how our daily life is, and our professional life is too, because in both situations we find sometimes difficulties that motivate us to do something different, to see if it works. you see, and we could also find excuse of not doing anything. So that's how
Yes.
life is. So thank you for being here. Thank you for improving yourselves. Thank you for everything you've done. Your participation, I mean, was very important in this
Outstanding.
seminar because yeah, we learn from one another, as Professor Jimenez said. So I'm going to open the room for anyone who would like to share some closing words, who would like to say anything, or I don't know, your opinion or whatever. Anyone? Hello,
Well,
good
good evening, Tania. I never said I was from Colombia. Well, I wanted, guys, the seminar was very neutral. I liked it. I applied what I did. I'm going to tell you what I applied all what he taught to us on my first lesson that I'm give to my students today. So what I did is not just a classroom work. I was doing my job, something that I'm going to use during my first classes. I see that is very interesting because then it's kind of arranged in a way that I think I can apply it with my students. I teach in primary level. I have third and fourth graders, and based on what I did here in this seminar is what I'm going to do during my first class period. So that is for you to know that the seminar was very good. I'm the type of person, if I don't like a seminar, I stop it. I go. I stay home. I do not connect again. So in my personal opinion, it was very good. Thank you very much for this opportunity. It was my first time having this type of seminar. Remote seminar.
So
Great.
it's the first time.
Great. And we are happy that you had a wonderful experience.
Hello, I would like to thank you for all the things in this seminar, in the diplomado that we are starting right now. So I learned a lot. I know that sometimes it was a little, not difficult, but a little difficult because I know it's of my baby, but not impossible. Something that we have to take into account is that when we want something, we never get up and we continue doing all the things as we want. And always we have and must have and set goals. That's important for continue keeping going.
Great, great. Anybody else wants to say something before we pass the mic to Professor Lowe that is back with us? Anybody else? No? It was wonderful. Okay. There are many of you that said thank you very much. Thanks to all the coordinators and Professor Lowe. Thanks very much. I already uploaded my 5th assignment. Thank you, everyone. It was wonderful. See you next week. Thanks for the opportunity. Great, great. We are happy that with the ups and downs with technology, you made it until this point. It was challenging, but not impossible. So before we go and say bye, we are going to ask Professor Daniel Lowe to give us his final remarks. Professor? I think I saw him.
Yeah, he's muted. You're muted, Professor. You have to open your mic.
Hi there. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi. So greetings from Tocumen. It's very calm here. The new Terminal 2 is very, very tranquilo, I think. So guys, thank you so much for a fantastic week together. I really enjoyed listening to all of your observations, comments, and you know, I hope that maybe some of the ideas that I shared will be of interest in terms of things that you might follow up on, whether it be for your learners or for your own professional development. But I think the main message that I wanted to transmit is that beyond being responsible for helping our students to acquire a good level of English, we should also be modeling strategies that help students become independent and able to become successful learners in their own right. So I think that if we can do that, then we're really setting our students up to be successful adults and good members of society. And I think all of us have that social aspiration that our work will somehow contribute to a better society. So that's the message I would like to conclude on. And just to say once again, my admiration to all of you for all of your hard work. I know nobody becomes a teacher to become rich. I know many of you.
That we know.
So I know many of you work under very challenging circumstances, but you know, you do such an important job, and it's very uplifting to see how dedicated you are to your own development. But really, the reason you're doing that is to help your students. So my admiration.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Professor.
Likewise. Thank you.
Good trip.
Thank you so much. All right, hope to have the opportunity to share again one time soon.
Let's hope so.
All right.
Hopefully.
So let's take our final photo. I know you make up, you fix up yourself. This is our final photo. Please turn on your cameras.
Wait.
Wait.
Marisol,
Yes.
for the next period, he will provide the website to enter.
Yes, the link. Of course.
The link.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have to have a link. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay.
Somebody, oh, we have a lot of people with their cameras off. Okay, let me move the ones that are on so that we can, okay, now we have more people with their cameras on.
Hey,
Wait,
here
wait.
I am.
Wait. Okay, Eileen. I still have 2 more spaces. Wait, okay, Joanne. Let me put, okay, Mercedes, yes, good. Just a minute. Wait. One, I have, Karen, what happened to your camera? Okay, let me move Karen and put somebody else there in that space. Okay, wait. Please, don't close your cameras so that it will move. Okay, wait. I'm putting the ones that have the cameras off to the bottom. Give me a second and I'll let you know. I'm close. Okay, now I have all the ones with photos.
Position of the camera. I don't know what's going on.
And the ones with no, okay. I'm going with the first page. So smile. Let me see myself. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Give me a second. Let you know. Don't close your cameras. Okay, let me go to the second page. Don't close the cameras. Oh, okay, there's somebody else that has the camera open. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, wait, let me see. Okay, so give yourself an applause for your wonderful work for this week. It was challenging, but we comply with it. So see you.
Thank you, Daniel.
In 2 weeks. No,
Okay.
yeah, in 1 week more. And from the 13th to the 17th, if you're taking the second seminar, and if you're taking the diplomado, remember that is the second model.
Have fun in the
Bye-bye.
second module,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye, Professor Daniel. Have a nice day.
Professor Daniel,
Bye-bye.
thank you very much.
Professor Daniel, thank you a lot for your
Okay,
information.
you're welcome.
Pleasure.
Have a
Bye.
good trip. Have a good
Bye.
trip.
Thanks
An
very much.
excellent trip.
Thank you.
Soon.
Bye.
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 Ay, ¿cómo hago para salir?
Bye.
Toca la pantalla y arriba te va a salir de
Oye,
reunión.
Verónica, no,
Ay, ay. Okay, I think these people are not here.
Tatiana, do you have any questions? No. Okay.
Okay. Ay. Okay.
Well, Professor Lowe, wow.
Well, that worked well in the end.
Yes, everything.
Yeah.
It
It
was,
worked.
I mean, that's good.
Good.
Doing
And
well.
most of did the participants, most of them say that they finished the task okay?
Yeah, most of them, and some of them said that they will finish tomorrow.
Okay.
Because they felt that they didn't have much time. And there
Okay.
was one participant that she said that she had complications and she's going to solve her situation on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of it. Her name is Amarilis. The thing is that she couldn't, she made a mistake when she was uploading her assignment.
Okay.
And then she couldn't access the room. So we opened a room specially for her. So you're going to find assignment number 4 twice. But
Okay.
in the other 4, there is only one participant, which is Professor Amarilis.
Okay. So I still haven't received the list of participants. Remember, I need that to be able.
Yes, I'll be sending it to you today.
Okay.
Yes, by
Perfect.
mail. Yes.
All right, guys. Well,
Yeah.
thank you once again for the opportunity, and thank you for all your hard work in setting this up. I think it was worthwhile. I enjoyed it, and I hope the participants did.
Yeah, they did. And they expressed it. They expressed it also.
Good.
So
Yes.
Okay.
And Professor
All right.
Jimenez, the director of the English school, he gave his thanks and everything, and he was wishing that you were there while he was talking, but you were not there. But he said
That's a shame.
very kind words. He said that you were very well prepared, and that he was amazed at how much preparation you had. So
Oh.
I mean, you gave him a very good impression. Yes.
Thank
It was
you.
excellent.
Okay, well, maybe one day soon, it would be nice to come and visit in Universidad de Panama. I haven't been there The last time I came was, I think, 2018. So it's 5 years.
long time ago.
Yes.
So when I get back, I'll be in touch and maybe I can come and visit.
Oh, yes. Yes, please do. And you said during the seminar that we have been talking about this seminar from a year ago. I mean, that was from 5 years ago.
Yes, that's true. Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, maybe if you'd like me to give like some kind of not 20 hours, but a shorter workshop in person to the teachers at Universidad de Panama, we could talk about that.
Oh, that would be a good idea. Yeah. That would be, yeah, maybe during English week or something like that. That would be
Okay. All right.
excellent. Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations to both of you for the important work you're doing, because, you know, I know that the education system in Panama is, you know, has its challenges, and it's not easy for teachers to gain access to quality professional development. So what you're doing is very important.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys. You have a
Thank you
nice
for the
weekend.
support. Same to
Too.
you, and say hello
And
to
have
your
a nice
family.
trip. Yes.
Okay.
And,
Thank you.
yeah.
All right. Okay.
Have a
I'll
nice
speak to you when I get back.
Okay, sure.
Well, we'll be in contact, I'm sure, by email about the, you know, the work. I'll be checking once I get the Excel with the list. I'll be checking the work early next week, and any issues I'll bring to your attention.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
All
sure.
right.
Take
Okay,
care.
guys.
God
You
bless
Bye.
you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hard to say bye, huh?
Yeah. I'm not actually sure how to turn this off. I feel.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna put you in the waiting room. Okay.
Marta Dorati was in the meeting
Today.
today. Good. You admitted her. Yeah, I forgot to tell you to admit her.
Well,
Eddie
somebody
Kidd-
admitted her.
Yeah, I didn't. Well,
I didn't
anyway,
either.
well, I told Lady Kell that she wanted to take the
Yeah, I shared the same information that I share with you. I share with ADK.
So we will have to give her some time to comply with the assignments.
Yeah, but that's different. What Amarili is trying to do is trick us.
Yeah, she's trying to trick us because in the document that she uploaded, there was nothing. There was nothing registered. So that's
now she's calling.
She's calling.
Yeah, she's calling me. She thinks she's smart.
Well, what can we do?
And the thing is, she doesn't learn because she had problem with the second seminar. With the first seminar, she had problem with the second seminar, and now she is still continuing with this 2023 with the same thing. It's when she wants, not when she needs to comply with the information.
Yeah. I was like, hey, what's the problem? And that's why she didn't appear for the August seminar. Because when we send the information, that was on the 25th, and it appears on the 29th.
And she said that something about the second seminar in September. She is not in the list either. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You don't think that she's in the list, or she's not in the list?
Well, no, I think that I don't think that she's telling the truth. Okay, let me check something. Yes, wait. Let me check. I'm checking the informe. Optimizing nutrition through technology. Inscripción, organización, inscripción.